The more you use multi-level modeling, you will probably encounter a warning that says the Hessian matrix is not positive definite. What is this all about? Multi-level models estimate the variances and covariances of the random intercept and random slopes. These estimates can be arranged into a square called a covariance matrix. The Hessian matrix is effectively a function applied to a matrix that can be used to evaluate the stability of these estimates. Now, there are a few covariance matrices in a multi-level model, but the covariance matrix referred to by this error is the variance of the random effects. This matrix has one row and one column for every random effect modeled for every level 2 group. The diagonal of this matrix holds the variances of the random effects for each group. We assume covariance of random effects between groups is 0, but that random effects within a group, if you model more than one, may be non-zero. What would lead a matrix like this to have a positive definite second derivative? Let's think about the covariance matrix as a topographical map. One thing we know is that every entry must be above 0. Variance is calculated from squared values, so it cannot be less than 0. So, our topography has a ground of 0. It can raise up in various configurations, but it can never sink below and still reflect reality. Nevertheless, a multi-level model can estimate negative variances. If it does, then your Hessian matrix will be non-positive definite. That's good, because your model estimated something impossible. Likely, your variables have very different ranges of possible values or are heavily skewed. If your groups are meaningful, we would not expect the covariance matrix to be flat. The diagonal holds the random effect variances. These estimates should be like a mountain ridge, with the covariances creating valleys on either side. This shape suggests that the random effects explain a unique amount of variance, beyond how much they explain through their covariance with each other. Now, an MLM solution is not stable if the covariances of random effects within a group are too high relative to the variances. This is a similar concept to multicollinearity, but for random effects. In that case, the variance estimates would be flatter and less spiky. If it is, then your Hessian matrix will be non-positive definite. An MLM solution is also not stable if some variances on the diagonal are close to 0. If they are, then your Hessian matrix will be non-positive definite. This occurs when knowing the groups does not bestow the gift of more precise predictions. You should drop the random effect that is 0 or is very close to 0. If your Hessian matrix is non-positive definite, you've got to do something about it. Hopefully, you will continue thinking about covariance matrices in this visual way while you enjoy the rest of the meditation. You can also focus on your breath the visuals, the music, or any combination of these things. Thank you for joining me for this meditation.